This Florida river may seem like a tropical paradise, but I'm here to investigate a vicious alligator attack.
He had his teeth knocked out, his jaw was broken, lacerations on his throat and his chest.
Are the alligators here more prone to attack humans? I am here to find out. I am Manny Puig. I have spent my whole life learning to survive like Tarzan in the most dangerous and primitive wilderness, where you can be killed or eaten. I have learned the ways of giant, man-eating predators, deadly sharks and reptiles, where every encounter may spell disaster in the savage wild. Every adventure in the savage wild is fantastic. An opportunity to see or learn something completely new. But today, my mission is more serious. We're here on the Silver River. This is a magnificent wild place. This is where they filmed Tarzan and Sea Hunt. It's a famous river. But the reason we're here, because a few weeks ago, there was a brutal alligator attack here. And I'm here to investigate, find out why this alligator attack took place, find out if the alligators here are more prone to attack. Is it genetics in the area, the food, the way they hunt, certain behavior? I'm here to find out. One of the crew on Savage Wild is Al Roberts. And Al Roberts also knows these waters around here and these rivers and these alligators better than anyone.
What had happened was a researcher was in the water doing water samples, which he does all the time. Matter of fact, he'd been in the water just a couple hours before when a massive alligator brutally attacked him, put his entire head and upper torso inside of his mouth. He was extremely lucky to have survived such a vicious attack. Pretty big gator. That's a 10-foot plus gator. Right there by the palm tree. That's a big gator. Let's go up here and park and we'll come back. Okay.
We just spotted a 10 to 12 foot alligator right over there. I'm gonna get in, I'm gearing up and go find him. My goal here today is to show you what to do and not to do in a river with alligators. First of all, don't ever go swimming in a river with alligators. But let's say your canoe capsized or you have to get in for whatever reason and you're there. I'm gonna show you today what to do in order to survive. There are certain things that you do that will trigger an alligator attack. I'm gonna show you what they are today and demonstrate them, and also what your best defense is. I'm ready, are you ready?
Almost.
Where's the alligator at?
Okay, you see the palm tree straight off the back of the boat with the palm branch hanging down into the water? There's a bunch of duckweed right in front of it.
You mean in that little gap inside the cypress tree? That little pocket in there?
You see the pocket of weed straight behind the boat.
Inside there?
Right underneath that palm branch hanging over. I can see part of his eyes.
Oh yeah, I think I see him now.
That's his eyes and his nose just barely sticking up through the weeds.
I see him now.
Yeah, he's a big, big alligator. That's a really big gator.
Yeah. First of all, I'm gonna do what will provoke an attack. I'm gonna cruise right in front of him. I've been attacked many times before, so I know what makes an alligator attack. You gotta look like prey. I'm gonna try to look like his food supply and come through and see if it'll get him to come out and attack me. If not, then I'm gonna go investigate him. But I know what it's all about because it's happened to me many, many times since I was a kid.
Get behind me a little bit. Get behind me. Get behind me a little bit to give him time to come out. I don't want him to see you right off the bat. Get behind me. Get further behind me.
You can never predict when an alligator will suddenly attack. You can even make yourself an easy target. He may just stare at you as you swim by. Or you could suddenly end up fighting for your life. 2 weeks ago, this river was the scene of a brutal alligator attack. The gator grabbed the man by the head. His jaw was crushed, but he survived. That alligator was destroyed. But I want to know more about the alligators that live in this river. I want to show you how not to get eaten.
Where is he, Manny?
The alligator didn't attack me, even after I swam right by him. I am a little surprised, so I want to get a closer look at him. I can tell it's a big gator by how small the eyes are. I decide to approach him from below. As I dive under the mat of vegetation and approach the alligator from below, my cameraman can't see what I am now seeing. The enormous alligator we're dealing with. The monster takes off, boiling the surface.
I couldn't see anything in there. He's enormous. Enormous, enormous, enormous. You couldn't see anything?
And nothing.
Well, you were
Pitch
filming,
black.
right?
Pitch black.
But you were filming.
Yeah, but I couldn't see anything.
Don't worry, the camera saw it.
Well, I cruise in front of him like prey, try to get him to come out and attack, and he didn't. They're very unpredictable. Understand that that alligator was 13, 14 feet long or more. I mean, he was enormous, enormous. He's a whole lot bigger than I thought he was. Now, you could cruise by an 8-footer, he might attack you. Sometimes just because he's as big doesn't mean he's going to attack you. A lot of the attacks are done by 7 to 9 footers. I remember the first time I was attacked by an alligator. Up until then, I had hand-caught alligators. I swam with them. The alligators always ran from me. I jump into a lake and they swim. So there was an alligator sunning on the bank in a pond. I jumped in, went for a swim. The alligator jumps in the water. I figure he's going to spook and go underwater and hide. And next thing you know, he's swimming at me at high speed. And I started trying to make it back to shore, and the alligator catches up to me. So I take off my t-shirt. You know, I didn't have the experience back then I have now, and I stood behind my t-shirt, kind of like a bullfighter behind his blanket. You know, and I stood behind it so he couldn't hide behind it, so he couldn't see me. And then I approached him and I backed him up. And then I tried to get away again and he ran me down again. And I remember seeing through the water, his mouth was open. And by that time, there's some people on shore watching, and I'm going back and forth, chasing him back and forth. I'd try to make a run for it, he'd catch up to me. And then I'd back him off till finally I made it to shore. And I was nervous and uneasy. And I made it to shore and I said, wow. You know, back then people always said, oh, alligators don't attack people. I'd read in a book they don't attack people, and all of a sudden this alligator is actually, you know, attacking me. And then you start hearing more and more reports about people being attacked by alligators. The alligators were hunted so long that they retreated so far into the swamp that people were rarely attacked. Then when the alligator population came back and the Florida population of humans exploded, the conflict started to happen. This river is bordered by dense jungle. It feels very ancient and primitive because it is. The sheer beauty of this place is overwhelming. But the brutal alligator attack just a couple of weeks ago is a reminder of how savage and wild it is. There's always something to learn from an attack like this. As we make our way upstream, I am searching for any clues that might reveal what led to the attack. And already I noticed something unusual. Because they are protected from hunting in this river, these alligators show little fear of humans. Normally they would explode into the water as soon as they see you. This is the smoking gun. I have come to the scene of an attack. 2 weeks ago, a man collecting water samples was grabbed by the head. A 12-foot alligator had him in a death hold. But he fought his way out and made it to shore where he collapsed. Now I'm searching for answers. How do these alligators behave around humans? I believe I've already found a clue. In an area there's a lot of hunting pressure, you don't get this close to alligators. This area, you can see there's no hunting pressure. Alligators are afraid in areas where they're being hunted. Over here, they're hardly afraid of people because they're not being hunted. This is a perfectly wild alligator acting natural and normal. There hasn't been many attacks on this river, but this is not an actual swimming area. You know, it ain't like you see a bunch of people swimming right now. I don't see anybody swimming. You know, people are aware there are alligators in here, you know, and most people won't swim in here. You can see there's some enormous alligators in here. This is a very high potential for an alligator attack in this river. All you gotta do is just put the people and the animals together. The guy that got attacked in here by an alligator, he probably swam in here. He knew there were big alligators in here. He was very aware, and I'm sure he was cautious. The thing is that you never know when an alligator is going to attack. And the alligator is attacking you, he'll make sure usually that you don't see him coming. Remember, the alligator is an ambush predator. He attacks by surprise. So he's not going to let you see him. The whole idea is for him to catch you off guard. And that's what people, you know, they see alligators, oh, he's just laying in the sun, it looks docile, oh, you know, looks harmless. But, you know, you gotta wait for the right alligator when he's hungry at the right time. Not when you choose, when the alligator chooses to make his attack. We just passed a 7-foot alligator. We're gonna get in, approach him, get some video. Take into account that even though the alligator that attacked here was a very large alligator, most of the attacks are 7 to 9 foot alligators. The majority of the alligators are smaller. There's not that many big ones around in the state of Florida. So people come in contact with that size alligator more, and they may not look as big or as powerful, but they're very strong. They can rip your arm off in 2 seconds. Some guy got bit in the back of the head by a 5 to 6 foot alligator. You know, it has to do with their personality more than anything. I am surprised by how calm this alligator seems with us only a few feet away. But he is watching our every move and decides to check his escape route. It's amazing how close I got. As I approach him head on, something prey will never do. He turns and swims away. We follow him as he disappears beneath a tangle of logs.
He's charging you! He's charging you!
The alligators that live on this river are built like tanks. A human is no match for them. But what provoked the attack? My search for clues continues. Weeks ago, a man was savagely attacked by an alligator on this river. I am here to try and understand what may have led to the attack. My opinions are completely my own. But I can already see that these alligators are unafraid of humans because they have never been hunted. This is an important clue. That spider is the size of my hand. I do not like spiders. They give me the creeps. Leave me with the alligators or the sharks, bears, anything. But I don't know. I don't like them touching me. I don't like being near them. I do not like spiders at all. There's something about them. They give me the creeps. As we continue upstream, we pass one alligator after another, soaking up sunshine so they can hunt later in the afternoon. Another one over there. Two alligators back to back. That front one had an eye injury, and that's something that's pretty common. They get it through fighting, a lot of times missing legs, damaged eye. These are powerful, brutal animals. Everything about them is just predatory, brutal, strength, fighting. You know, they're not nice. There's another one over here. As you can see, alligators are incredibly fast, way faster than a human. In the water, you can never outswim or get away from them. They're real quick like that on land, at close quarters, ambush. But if you're out in the middle of a football field, he's not gonna outrun you and catch you. You know, you gotta be right there next to him. But in the water, forget about a swimming one. They can swim as fast as a fish. They fly. They sit still, they don't move, and all of a sudden, they just explode. Very explosive. We spot a beast of an alligator sitting high on a log, and I decide to approach him head on. I am sending him a message he can understand. I am not food, and I want to see how he reacts. He keeps a wary eye on us as I move closer. Then he slides off the log and disappears under the riverbank. He must be under this tangle of vegetation. And there he is, just a few feet away. A perfect place to set up an ambush. I approach him slowly and decide to gently lift him. This tells me a lot about their personality. He stays calm as we get to the surface, and then he is done with me.
Hold on. Where is he? Man. I can't believe it. I gently got him all the way up like this from way back in. That was difficult. Real gentle, and all of a sudden, when he exploded, all the mud comes up. I don't know where his head is at. I don't know where he's at. Yeah, he jumped off my back. I felt him pushing off of me. I don't know where he went. Yeah. I know you can see him pretty good in there where you were, right?
Good. Underwater, it looked crystal clear.
Yeah, it was dark, but you could see him, all his white, all the markings was vivid.
Today we had some close encounters, some close calls, but no all-out predatory attacks, which is what we were looking for. That happens only on the alligator's own time and choosing. But it's important to me that you learn how to be safe out here. And do you know what to do if you're attacked? How to avoid situations? Basically how to survive out here. And hope you catch us next time on Savage Wild.